Good morning, everybody. We have a lower trade in the grain markets here early on Wednesday morning. It is 6:30 a.m. Central Time. March corn futures down 4 3/4 at 438 1/4. March soybeans are down 7 1/4 at 1347 1/2. March Chicago wheat is down 8 3/4 cents at 636. March spring wheat down 6 cents at 615. Couple of housekeeping notes. I did had a conversation with Steve Johnson. Steve is a retired farm management specialist with Iowa State, and we talked about crop insurance and more specifically crop insurance as it relates to grain marketing. We didn't really spend a ton of time going through the specific plans, but we talked about crop insurance in general in regard to grain marketing, some of the misconceptions. I addressed some of the questions that I've had from customers regarding crop insurance and grain marketing. So that video is available on YouTube. The audio is available on all the podcast apps. So make sure you check that out. To get started in the news here this morning, grain movement in Argentina has been disrupted due to a trucker strike. Roadblocks were set up by truckers around key ports in Buenos Aires yesterday. The protest is expected to move north to Rosario, which is the much larger shipping hub. Truckers are demanding lower taxes, tolls, fuel prices, in addition to some other stuff. This was the quote from the Grain Exchange. The protest affects the loading of cargo ships, delaying or preventing them. And they said in the period from January 18th through February 1st, shipments were down 24% versus the same period last year. Remember, Argentina is the world's third largest exporter of corn. They are the top exporter of soybean meal. February and really March are big months for corn harvest in Argentina. And corn prices, export prices out of Argentina for corn are certainly going to be below U.S. prices when that crop becomes available. We'll see an ethanol update from EIA later this morning. U.S. ethanol production has essentially been running below what I would call pre-COVID levels consistently since last spring. Ethanol production over the last 4 weeks is running 11.5% below the same period last year. Gasoline demand over the last 4 weeks is running 9.5% below the same period last year. Traders expect a small decline in ethanol production this morning and a small build in ethanol stocks. Ethanol prices have acted really well, but the production margins are still negative in a lot of areas. Forward margins may be a little bit better. Traders expect friendly corn and soybean numbers from USDA next week. We should see a full pre-report estimate type deal from the Newswire services here, I would imagine later today or tomorrow. But in general, I think that given the very strong pace of export sales and corn in particular, a lot of traders expect an upward adjustment to the U.S. export forecasts. Such an adjustment would result in lower U.S. carryout numbers, obviously a tighter supply and demand situation on paper. I think a lot of this has been priced into the market already, but that's always kind of like the million-dollar question when it comes to these reports. What has been discounted into the marketplace and what hasn't? I can tell you that the report's probably going to look friendly versus last month, but that does not necessarily mean that the markets have to rally on it. Stockpiles of corn are growing in China. Reuters reporting this morning that corn stocks held by commercials in China have jumped to multi-year highs in some locations amid large imports and a recent corn harvest. And despite this big jump in stockpiles, they're still concerned regarding supplies. The hog sector is growing rapidly as the country recovers from this African swine fever issue. Chinese buyers booked a record amount of U.S. corn just last week. And prior to this year, China had been importing anywhere from like 2 million up to 7.5 million metric tons of corn per year. USDA is estimating this year that they'll import 17.5 million metric tons, and a lot of the private groups and traders out there believe that that number even could be too low, and that the number may ultimately be somewhere in the 25 to 30 million metric ton range. So we've already seen this big spike in demand and import demand from the Chinese, and you could see more of it if these numbers are anywhere near reality. Some of the things that the trade has been discussing are really phenomenal, and there's still chatter out there that China may buy more corn from the U.S. As early as this week, certainly. The cattle market finished yesterday with some gains. We still don't have much. We were up $1 in the nearby Feb fat cattle contract. We were up $1.20 in the March feeder cattle contract. Nothing in terms of cash trade yet this week. The box beef market was kind of a mixed bag yesterday. And the outside markets, stock market's up again. Had two strong closes to start the week. The S&P's up 12. The Dow's up about 7 points. Gold's up $7. Silver is up after that big collapse yesterday, and there's been a ton of volatility there. That's been in the news. U.S. dollar is about flat. Crude oil is up 46 cents, 55.22 in the March WTI, trading very close to 12 or 13-month highs. The bonds are a little bit lower. Remember, if you guys need some more information from me, as always, you can go to my website. It is www.standardgrain.com. Go to that website, click on Grain Marketing Plan here in the upper right-hand corner. For $49 a month, I will send you two things. My morning email, which goes out every business day at 6:30 a.m. Central Time. That includes any overnight headline that you need to be aware of, all my grain marketing recommendations, all kinds of interesting charts and data. That deal goes out every day. Also a text message service. I'll give you market updates. I'll let you know exactly how I'm marketing and pricing corn, soybeans, and wheat throughout the year. You don't need to have a trading account for this deal. It's a monthly subscription. It can be canceled at absolutely any time. There's no obligation here. So certainly give that some thought if you're looking for some improvement or you're looking for some additional information. Everybody have a wonderful day today. I will talk to you same time tomorrow.